I told you we're gonna do an anime video. I told y'all. Here it is, boys. Alright, so if y'all haven't heard already, there is a censorship issue going on with Bocchi the Rock, one of the most hit animes of all time. I watched Bocchi the Rock like last year. I really enjoyed it. That was a really good show. But apparently there is some issues with the screenwriter censoring the anime. And that's what we're going to be talking about today, guys. So without further ado, let's begin. Alright, so as we can see here, I am on CBR. They're talking about the Gundam director calls out anime censorship on 2022. The screenwriter for the hit 2022 anime Bocchi the Rock has sparked major industry debate after revealing she intentionally censored the original manga content for the adaptation. I think it goes without saying that censorship in all cases is bad, even if it's for good reasons, like we'll get into in just a bit. I do think that it leads down to a slippery slope where we will be censoring everything we don't like anymore. It goes from censoring sexual content and nudity all the way down to censoring what we don't value in our politics, and it's a very bad and slippery slope that we have to go down into. Anyhow, the controversy stems from an interview with screenwriter Erika Yoshida by the Japanese publication Kaiju, where she explained that she changed a scene from the manga while adapting it to the anime. She quotes, "In the original manga, there's a scene where Hattori-chan is naked when she gets into an ice-cold bath, but for the anime, we had her wear a swimsuit." And I will be showing y'all that manga panel real fast. So as y'all can see here, this is the manga panel. As you can see, it's a little bit risque, but it's not... I personally would not like this in an anime, but I do understand that, like I said, slippery slope that we had to go into. It, as the Gundam creator said, he said her use of the word noise to describe the scene struck a nerve. Fukuda, best known for Mobile Suit Gundam Seed, openly condemned the mindset, stressing that every element of a work matters. He argued that removing material based on subjective discomfort can strip the original creator's intent and undermine the fans' right to see a faithful adaptation, which I personally agree with. Like, if the Bocchi creator had it in there, I don't know her name off the top of my head, but if she had it there for the manga, why did we have to remove it from the anime? She goes on to say, Yoshida stood firm in her stance, stating she resisted any framing that encouraged sexualization of minors. She explained that she would not approve changes she couldn't comfortably show her own son, citing this as her guiding principle. For her, adjustments like removing nudity and avoiding exaggerated tropes preserved the heart of Bocchi the Rock, rather than compromising it. This defense, however, provoked backlash from other industry veterans. Writer-director Jun Masaki criticized what he called a toxic parent mindset, suggesting creators should craft stories based on what they themselves would have enjoyed as children, not what they would have filtered for their kids. By setting parental standards as creative limits, he argued, Yoshida imposed personal ideology onto another's work, which I could not completely agree more with. The Bocchi creator, like I was saying, the Bocchi creator had that scene in the manga because it was her own vision, it was her own work. While some fans in the West may not be comfortable with it per se, I don't think it was Miss Yoshida's right to change it, especially for the reason that she would not approve it because she couldn't show it to her own son. That is just whole nother level of bizarre to it. For one, Bocchi is not a anime for kids. It is a seinen anime for sure. It deals with heavier themes like anxiety, depression, mental health, all that stuff, on top of a fun and enjoyable rock and roll girl band. I don't think that she should have censored it. I don't think that it's something that we should celebrate for her censoring it. I think that it's, again, a slippery slope we're going down, where first it'll be this, then what's next, basically. Yoshida says here, I don't mind how fans interpret the characters, and I think individuals are free to draw or imagine whatever they want. However, I have a problem when the official side spreads content as if to say, here, please exploit this. The thing with that is the Bocchi creator herself is the one who drew it. It was already an official side spreading that content. You're just changing it for the anime. Some random Joe Schmo could go to Barnes & Noble's right fucking now and go buy a copy of the first volume of Bocchi the Rock, because that manga panel was only in chapter 4. It's a very early on into the show. They could just go and buy that and then see it there. Like, you're not really doing too much by preventing it from going into the anime. The parental standard drew particularly sharp criticism from Japanese light novel author and director Jun Masaki. He singled out this part of Yoshida's comment as the one that angered him the most, arguing that a creator's standard should not be what they can show their own child. Instead, Masaki was of the opinion that creators should make what you would have wanted to see, what you could have enjoyed when you yourself were a child, which I couldn't agree more with. If we're making our shows in anime neutered down for what we think is best for our children, rather than what we as children would have enjoyed, we're gonna start getting these dumbed down shows. For example, we went from Ed, Edd n Eddy to Courage the Cowardly Dog to Total Drama Island. Then we go to the 2010 era with Adventure Time, Regular Show, all those popular ones. And then we go to like that 2013 to 2016 era of Cartoon Network, where we're starting to get stupid shit like Uncle Grandpa. Editor grilled here. No dissing to Uncle Grandpa. That shit was peak. Pizza Steve is my goat. For real. And Teen Titans Go and all that stuff, where you can see the decline of seriousness with it. Which, to be fair, if those are kids shows, I can understand that. This is anime, though. I don't think we should be making anime that isn't even for kids to begin with, making it where kids can watch it. This, like I said, Bocchi is not an anime for children. We shouldn't try to make it children friendly. As you can see here, this is Mr. Misaki's Twitter post that was being that was set in the CRR, wherever that one is, whatever article we were just on is. But in the comments I noticed that even with the gore in this Demon Slayer event, there were a lot of young kids from elementary to high school age, and it made me think that most parents probably don't worry too much about fiction being just fiction. That's pretty normal, right? If you forbid something, it just makes people want to see it even more. When I was a kid, I used to watch gory horror movies with my parents too, which I cannot agree more with. As a kid, I was banned from a lot of, horror movies and a lot of like rated R shit, unfortunately, and I found out ways to watch it. I found out ways to get it for free, whether it be pirating on pirating websites, whether it be borrowing a copy from my friend, whether it be watching it on YouTube. Like, I was able to find these products anyways, so like, if somebody wants to watch something, we're gonna watch it, kind of thing. Like, if you forbid it, just makes people want to see it even more. It's not that difficult to understand. Another claim that I want to discuss real fast is fiction being just fiction. While on paper, that's not a very terrible reasoning to, defend something, I do think that there are some weirdos out there who will actively search for pervy and risque topics. For example, I am a avid hater of lolly. I think it's very disgusting. I think it's literally just drawn CP. However, I can get past it in certain animes and mangas like Mushoku Tensei, like Re:Zero, like all those ones that have those lolly characters in it, because for one, they're not the main focus. They're not what I'm watching those animes for. They're just a part of it, and if I want to get the full story, I'm able to look past the lolly content, basically. But there's some sick weirdos out there who will go on websites like image boards and such to purposely look for sexualized versions of lollies and probably wink one off to it. That's all I can think about them doing. So on, it's like a tipping scale. I would rather let that happen, I guess, because again, the claim that's fiction, just fiction, is true. They're not really hurting children. It's just very disgusting. Would I ever be friends with a lolly enjoyer? No. I think that's, like I said, just disgusting to enjoy. But the sacrifice of not being able to have content like Mushoku Tensei or ReZero for letting these sick degenerate people wink one off to literally drawn child pornography is a trade-off that I'm willing to make, as long as they're not upgrading it to actual child pornography. Like I said, I do not condone looking at lolly porn or any of that. I again think it's just disgusting as hell. But there is a certain trade-off to things that I think that is necessary. Now, if an anime has literal CP, like full-on images of child pornography in it, then that's a different story, and I would not support that whatever. But for the most part, it's just these drawn characters who look very risque and disgusting. Now, all in all, I personally do not agree with the censorship of Bocchi the Rock. Like I said, I think it goes down a very slippery slope where we're going to start with removing this stuff, removing the creator and author's intent in the anime. We're going to go down to removing anything that makes anybody feel uncomfortable in any type of show, and we're going to get as a huge anime fan, I feel like we're going down a route where we're going to get such a neutered and like dry representation of what we all love to watch and enjoy. And if you don't agree with me, feel free to discuss that down in the comments. I will be glad to discuss with you guys about anything. If you like what you saw, please like, comment, and subscribe. Like I said, this is my first anime video out of many, and we will see you in the next one. Till next time, folks, peace.